Okay, so yesterday we discussed about the various topologies of feedback amplifier, which are those voltage series feedback amplifier, current series feedback amplifier, voltage shunt feedback amplifier, and current shunt feedback amplifier. Okay, so in that topologies we observed the type of sampling and type of mixing. It decides the topology, right? And according to that topology, the basic amplifier that also gets decided. That depends on what is the output of that basic amplifier as well as what is its input. Output and input means in terms of, we can say, voltage or current, and that also depends on the topology. That means the type of sampling and type of mixing. Okay. So why there is need of negative feedback, or why there is need of, in general, we will say the feedback in amplifiers. That means there might be somewhat advantages, there might be somewhat disadvantages by using the negative type of feedback in the amplifier. Okay. There is only one disadvantage, we can say, and that is nothing but first one, that is the transfer gain, or how that negative feedback will going on to affect the various parameters of that amplifier that today we will going on to discuss in detail. Okay. Screen is properly visible, Blackboard. Okay, so at your end, just note down a few things. See, whatever the various parameters and the effect on that various parameters we will go on to discuss mathematically, we have to prove it. Is there improvement in that particular parameter, or gets degrade or decrease? Okay. So that comparison with and without feedback, we will go on to perform, and mathematically we'll try to prove it. Okay. So the first one, that is transfer gain. So take notebook and pen, and parallel to me, you have to note down these things. Okay. So first of all, note down, let capital A, that is the transfer gain without feedback. Let that A, it is the transfer gain. See again, we will go on to define all these things, or we will go on to prove all these things in general. Okay. That's why I written that A as a transfer gain. Okay. So this A, it may be for voltage amplifier, it may be for current amplifier, or transconductance, or transresistance. So in generalize, we will going on to compare it. Okay. Similarly, second one, that is AF, it is the transfer gain with feedback. As I preferred F over here, it stands for what? It is a transfer gain with feedback. Okay. Now as without feedback, that transfer gain is written as, in general again, that is XO divided by XI. Note down it like this. The transfer gain of that feedback amplifier, or of that amplifier, in generalized, we can write it as XO by XI. Okay. X stands for again either voltage or current. So in general, I written it as a simply the ratio of output of that amplifier divided by its input, and hence I written it as XO by XI. Okay. Similarly, AF, that is the transfer gain with feedback, is equals to, again, its output, that is XO divided by XS. note it properly. See, what is the difference in that transfer ratio? Whatever I written, without feedback, I written it as xo by xi, and with feedback, I written it as xo by xs. What is the difference between these two terms? This is nothing but actual input to that basic amplifier, and this is nothing but the overall input signal source which is connected to that basic amplifier. Is it clear? Is it visible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we written the two terms, that is the transfer gain without feedback, if no feedback is there in that amplifier, and if negative feedback is connected. Okay. We have to check what is the effect on that transfer gain. Will it remain same, or it will get decreased, or it will get increased, like this. Okay. And that's why I define these two gains, that is without feedback, as xo by xi, and with feedback as xo by xs. X stands for either voltage or current. Again, remember this one. Okay. Therefore, that's AF. We can write it as what? That is nothing but xo by xf. As we know, what is xi in general? If you can recall the previous lecture, then we can write xi equals to xs minus xf. Can you recall it? Yesterday already I told. Input, so the actual input to that basic amplifier, that will be how much? The total connected signal source, that is xs. And as the feedback is negative, yesterday I asked about this negative sign, right now? Why there is negative sign? It indicates what? That two signals, that is actual source signal and the feedback signal, these two are out of phase. That is 180-degree phase shifted, right now? And that means these two signals, or that feedback signal, it will get subtracted from the actual input signal source. And hence, the net input available to that basic amplifier, that will be equals to total signal source minus feedback signal, that is xs minus xf. Okay. And therefore, from this equation, we can write, therefore, that xs is equals to what? Xi plus xf. Agree? Are you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Our main equation is this one. Okay. And from that, we can just rearrange the term so that we can write xs equals to xi plus xf. That RHS negative term, when you will keep it to LHS, it will become plus. So it will be xi plus xs. Sorry, xf. Okay. Just replace it over here. That is equals to xo divided by xi plus xf. Okay. At your end also, you just note down it on your notebook. Then and then you will get cleared about these things. Okay. Next line, note down. Divide numerator and denominator by xi. Dividing numerator and denominator by xi. We will have this equation as xo divided by xi divided by 1 plus xf by xi. Is it okay? Dividing numerator and denominator by xi, we will have that equation as xo by xi divided by 1 plus xf by xi. Okay. Now see, what is this xo by xi? Numerator term?
A.
Yes, it is the transfer gain without feedback, is it? So that is equals to A divided by 1 plus, okay, as it is, 1 plus xf by xi. So that xf by xi, I can write it like this: xf by xo into xo by xi. Is it correct? That xo will get cancelled and we will have that original term, that is xf by xy. Is it okay up to over here? So that AF, which is nothing but xo by xf, that xs is nothing but xi plus xi plus xf, dividing numerator and denominator by xi, we will have xo by xi divided by 1 plus xf by xi. So xo by xi is nothing but gain without feedback divided by 1 plus, I will just rearrange this xf by xi like this. That is xf by xo into xo by xi. Is it okay? Again, you will observe this ratio is nothing but A, is it? What about this one? Can anyone?
Beta. Beta.
Yes, yes, very nice. This is nothing but beta, correct? And that's why we will have finally AF equals to A divided by 1 plus beta times A. Agree? So this is the relation between transfer gain with feedback and without feedback. So from this equation, what you will conclude? Or you have to just compare AF and A. Will it be equals to A? Will it be greater than A? Or it will be less than A? Out of these three, by this one. Just let me know. AF, that is gain with feedback, is equals to gain without feedback. First option. Second one, greater than without feedback or less than without feedback. You have to compare these two. Right, right.
Less than.
Yes, it will be less than without feedback. Very nice. Okay, can I justify it? How it will be less than if you are getting confused, remaining people? If that A is equals to 30 as per our practical. Okay, if we prefer the negative feedback in that, and if the feedback factor, that is beta, already I told how much it is, maximum
0
capital,
to 1.
sorry, that beta maximum it is 1, or in general we can say that beta factor, it always lies between 0 to 1. Okay, so I will consider that beta factor as 0.5. Okay, so just put it over here, you will get the answer for gain with feedback. So that will be equals to, suppose we taken that values, therefore AF will be equals to 30 divided by 1 plus beta is 0.5 into 30, that is nothing but 15. That is nothing but 30 divided by 16. Okay, agree? So how much it will be?
87.
1.87.
1.87. Very nice. So see, without feedback, that gain of 30, and with feedback, it becomes 1.87. Okay. So finally, what is the conclusion for this first parameter? If there is a negative feedback, the gain of that amplifier circuit, it gets reduced. Note it at your end. The effect of negative feedback on the transfer gain of any amplifier, it may be transconductance amplifier, transresistance amplifier, voltage amplifier, or current amplifier, that gain will going on to decrease. And this is only a single disadvantage of the negative feedback. The remaining parameters, which now again we will go on to discuss in detail, will observe all parameters get improved. In general, I am saying improve. Why? I am saying like that, improve, not increase. That also I will go on to justify later on. Okay. Now we'll see the second one. That is the stability. Stability to the gain. Or gain stability. We can write it as. That is so before going to that, just remember what is mean by that stability or why it gets changed. Stability is related to the operating point due to the variation in temperature. There is, or we can say, the operating point, it gets somewhat shifted on that DC load line. As temperature increases, that operating point, it gets shifted slightly. Okay. And if that operating point gets shifted, then what will happen? If at room temperature condition, if we are applying a maximum input signal. Now, what is mean by maximum input signal? That already we discussed right now. Maximum input signal means the applied input signal having its peak to peak amplitude just closer to the ohmic region of that transistor, and at the bottom side just closer to the cutoff region. Beyond that, if we increase the input signal, what happens? During the operation, that transistor, it gets entered into its linear region, that is ohmic region, as well as during negative half, it gets entered into cutoff region, and hence that input signal, it gets lost partially, and that we are calling it as a clipping of that input occurs. Is it? So to avoid that, generally what we are doing, we are applying that input signal somewhat or slightly less than its maximum operating condition. Okay. Now, if that Q point do not remain stable due to the variation in temperature, for example, suppose that operating point gets shifted somewhat above the center of that load line, what will going on to happen? The positive half cycle of input signal, it will get clipped immediately or somewhat earlier as compared to during negative half of that input, because as we consider that operating point somewhat above the center, that means there will be somewhat less space to acquire by that input signal. Okay, that is the positive half cycle of that input signal as compared to the negative. Okay, so at this stage you have to remember the stability, or it depends on the position of that operating point, and due to the variation in temperature, it gets somewhat disturbed. Okay, so if there is a negative feedback in that amplifier, if it is preferred, then we will go on to compare the stability of that operating point without feedback and with feedback amplifier. So at the end, we will go on to observe the stability to the gain with feedback, it gets improved as compared to without feedback. Okay, and that's why that this is the advantage, we can say again. Okay, so at your end, again note down, as we already discussed, AF equals to the gain with feedback is equals to A divided by 1 plus beta A. During the first parameter, we derived it. Okay. Now differentiate both sides, differentiating both sides with respect to A. We will have dAF by dA equals to, just differentiate this one. I will write it directly as 1 plus beta times A into 1 minus beta A divided by 1 plus beta A bracket square. Okay, is it visible properly? The gain with feedback
Yes,
and
sir.
gain with feedback and without feedback we derived, that is AF equals to A by 1 plus beta A. Just differentiate both sides with respect to A. We will get dAF by dA equals to 1 plus beta A into 1 minus beta A divided by 1 plus beta A bracket square. Okay, and that is equals to 1 by 1 plus beta A bracket square. Okay, and hence dAF equals to just shift it towards RHS, so that dA divided by 1 plus beta A bracket square. Okay, now dividing both sides by AF. Dividing both sides by AF, just divide it. You will have dAF by AF equals to dA by 1 plus beta A bracket square into 1 by AF. Dividing both sides by AF, we will have dAF by AF equals to dA by 1 plus beta A bracket square into 1 by AF. Correct? Is it okay? Now, what is AF? Already we mentioned that AF is nothing but A by 1 plus beta A. So just replace this 1 by this AF by this equation, so that we will have equals to dA by 1 plus beta A bracket square into 1 plus beta A divided by capital A. Is it? Replace that AF by A by 1 plus beta A. Okay. And hence, finally, we can rewrite this equation as dAF by AF equals to dA by A into 1 by 1 plus beta A. Correct? So this is our main equation. Now see, what is mean by dAF by AF? It is known as the fractional change in gain with feedback. Okay? dAF by AF is nothing but what? It is a fractional change in gain with feedback. dA by A, this is known as the fractional change in gain without feedback. Just highlight it. At your end, note down this dAF by AF is nothing but fractional change in what? Gain or transfer gain with feedback. And dA by A is nothing but fractional change in gain without feedback. Okay, note down it at your end. Okay, now as long as we are concerned with this second parameter, that is stability with the gain, how much should be the change in gain? Ideally, 0% or 100%. Ideally, it will be 0% or 100%. What do you think? As long as the stability of gain is concerned, my question is, the fractional change in gain should occur or it should not occur? Due to the variation temperature, already I explained, the gain gets changed due to the variation in that operating point. Okay. Is it okay? What is mean by that variation in gain or why it occurs? If there is change in temperature, the operating point it gets shift, or we can say there is change in gain due to the change in temperature or variation in temperature. Okay. My question is, by change in temperature, really that gain should get changed or it should remain constant? So simple. If there is change in temperature, gain should get changed or it should remain same? No one? Remember that gain should not get disturbed. It should not get changed even if variation in temperature occurs. Okay. If you don't know this simple logic, you can note at your end. Okay. If there is variation in temperature, the gain should not get changed or it should not get varied. It should remain same. Same as that of what? Whatever we are getting at room temperature. Okay. Now see, compare these two changes. dAF by AF is nothing but it is the fractional change in gain when there is negative feedback, and dA by A is nothing but fractional change in gain when there is no feedback, no negative feedback. So what you will conclude from this equation? Fractional change in gain with feedback is less than or greater than fractional change in gain without feedback, or is same? That means dAF by AF equals to dA by A? No, because there is this term right now, that is 1 by 1 plus beta A. So by this equation, what you will conclude? The fractional change in gain with feedback is greater than or less than or equals to the fractional change in gain of that amplifier without feedback. Simple question.
Less than.
Yes. The fractional change in gain with feedback is less than the fractional change in gain without feedback. dAF by AF is less than dA by A. Note down it. Okay. And hence, what we can say, the stability to the gain, it gets increased. Okay. That means with negative feedback, that circuit becomes somewhat more stable in terms of what? Change in gain. Right? Change in gain do not occur whenever we prefer the negative feedback in that amplifier. Is it clear? Okay. Now, within the same parameter, there are two terms. First one is sensitivity of transfer gain. Just below it, note down sensitivity of transfer gain. Okay. So what is mean by the sensitivity of transfer gain? Note down the definition. The fractional change in gain with feedback. The fractional change in gain with feedback divided by the fractional change in gain without feedback. The fractional change in gain with feedback divided by the fractional change in gain without feedback is known as sensitivity of transfer gain. Okay? Is it clear? Denoted by capital S. Note it. Therefore, we can write that sensitivity of transfer gain as it is a ratio of fractional change in gain with feedback to the fractional change in gain without feedback. That means simply we can write dAF by AF to dA by A. Okay. And how much it will be from this equation? How much it will be? Capital S. As it is a ratio of dAF by AF to dA by A, we already derived or we already compared that two terms, that is dAF AF by AF with dA by A. So from this equation, can we define the sensitivity? So simple.
1 upon 1 plus beta A.
Yes, that is nothing but 1 upon 1 plus beta A. So remember this one. Sensitivity of transfer gain is nothing but 1 by 1 plus beta A. Another term that is known as desensitivity. Desensitivity of transfer gain. It is denoted by capital D. Okay. Note down its definition. Definition is so simple. It is a reciprocal of sensitivity of transfer gain. That is nothing but 1 by S. Therefore, the capital D equals to 1 by S. And how much it will be now? It will be simply 1 plus beta A. So 1 plus beta A is the desensitivity of transfer gain of that feedback amplifier, and capital S, it is the sensitivity of transfer gain of that feedback amplifier. Is it clear? Any doubt? Got it or not? The effect of negative feedback we are studying on various parameters of that amplifier, feedback amplifier, negative feedback amplifier. First one we discuss about the transfer gain. In that we observe the transfer gain, it gets reduced, and that's why we can say it is a disadvantage of negative feedback. Okay. Second one, we studied about the gain stability. Within this, what we concluded, the gain stability, it gets improved by using negative feedback, because the fractional change in gain with feedback, it is less as compared to fractional change in gain without feedback. And from that, we derive two terms, that is sensitivity of transfer gain denoted by capital S. It is simply the ratio of fractional change in gain with feedback to the fractional change in gain without feedback of that amplifier. So dAF by AF divided by dA by A. Okay, and from this equation, we derive that capital S equals to 1 by 1 plus beta A. Okay, and from that we derive the another term, next term, that is desensitivity of transfer gain, which is denoted by capital D, and simply it is the reciprocal of sensitivity, and hence that capital D equals to 1 plus beta A. Okay. Now we'll switch to the next one. Third parameter, and that is nothing but frequency response and bandwidth. Frequency response and bandwidth. Third important parameter of amplifier, and we'll go on to check what will be the effect on the frequency response curve of that amplifier as well as its bandwidth. So see, in first parameter, what we derived? We derived that the gain or transfer gain of that amplifier gets reduced. Okay. Before going to that, see, you are well familiar now about the frequency response curve of an amplifier. The frequency response curve of an amplifier is like this. We done one practical also. We observed such type of frequency response of that CS MOSFET amplifier. So here on x-axis we are taking frequency, and on y-axis we are taking gain. Okay. Is it okay? Are you familiar with this? This is known as a frequency response curve of an amplifier. Okay. I want to ask few questions related to this, that it will get repeat. You will observe at low frequency side, the gain is somewhat less as compared to mid-band frequency range. Mid-band means between these two frequencies, we are getting a constant gain, right? But at low frequency side, there is somewhat less gain, as well as at high frequency side, there is somewhat again gain gets decreased by minus 20 dB per decade. Okay. Can you justify it at low frequency side why the gain is less, as well as at the high frequency side the reduction in gain takes place by minus 20 dB per decade? I want to just check you. Already I told the reason when we studied the frequency response of an amplifier. First, at low frequency side, which components are responsible to decrease the gain of that amplifier? At high frequency side, which components are there which decreases the gain of that amplifier? No one? At low frequency side, coupling capacitors are responsible, Ci and Cu. At high frequency side now, which capacitors are responsible? Have you heard about internal capacitances, stray capacitances, or junction capacitances? Okay, so remember again, at high frequency side, the reduction in gain takes place by minus 20 dB per decade as shown in this frequency response curve, that is due to the internal capacitances of that transistor. Right now, parasitic capacitances, that internal capacitances or junction capacitances are known as parasitics. So due to that capacitances or internally developed capacitances of that amplifier, the high frequency roll off in gain occurs of that amplifier. Okay. So see, suppose the gain, if there is no feedback, as just we taken that example, if that gain is 30, maximum gain, okay? With negative feedback, what happens with the maximum gain? We determine that value also for your understanding purpose. Gain gets increased or decreased by negative feedback. First parameter, today only. gain gets increase or decrease?
Decrease.
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 So we just seen that gain gets decrease somewhat like this. Agree? That frequency response curve becomes like this. See, the maximum gain, it will get decreased. Correct? And the plot will be as shown. Now see, first of all, we will discuss about without feedback. This first curve, this is the what? This is frequency response curve. Without feedback. That's why we are getting that gain maximum as there is no feedback. And this one is what? Frequency response curve with feedback. Right now. For first one, try to find out the bandwidth. We have to come down by minus 3 dB. Minus 3 dB bandwidth. And just plot one straight line parallel to this maximum gain. Okay. This line, it will be going to intersect at low frequency side as well as towards the high frequency side, and respective values of the frequencies are known as what? Can anyone? This is known as what? FL, lower cutoff frequency. This one, FH, higher cutoff frequency. Yes or no? Similarly, try to find out that FL and FH when there is feedback. That means for second curve. Again, just come down by minus 3 dB and plot one line parallel to the maximum gain or constant gain. Again, you will observe there will be intersection at low frequency side as well as at high frequency side, and hence the respective frequencies are known as FLF. I will call it as what? FLF. Note down it properly at your end. And this one is known as higher cutoff frequency with feedback. Is it clear? Is it visible properly? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible? What are the things I shown on board? Yes, I think it is okay. See, for first curve, that is without feedback, I shown the lower cutoff frequency and higher cutoff frequency on x-axis and denoted it as FL and FH. We already studied these things during our second practical also, during theory also, related to CS MOSFET amplifier. Okay. Now to that amplifier, if we provide the negative feedback from our first parameter, what we concluded, gain gets decreased. And that's why second curve I plotted, which is somewhat below the first curve, which indicates the gain gets decreased. That means the second curve, it is with feedback, with negative feedback. Okay. And for that second curve also, I determine their cutoff frequencies, lower cutoff frequency and higher cutoff frequency on x-axis. As there is negative feedback, I denoted it as lower cutoff frequency with feedback as FLF and higher cutoff frequency with feedback as FHF. Okay. So that bandwidth is nothing but the difference between higher cutoff frequency and lower cutoff frequency. So first of all, I will decide this bandwidth without feedback as FH minus FL, and next one, bandwidth with feedback equals to FHF minus FLF. Are you agree with this? And looking towards this response, you have to compare FL and FLF, FH and FHF, and at the end, bandwidth without feedback and bandwidth with feedback. You have to compare, okay, one by one. Just right. Looking towards this frequency response curve. I think our time is also over. So we will stop, and tomorrow we'll start from the same point, and mathematically we'll try to prove it, how much is the change, or will it remain same. But looking towards by this graphical representation, we can say that FL is not equals to FLF. Similarly, FH is not equals to FHF, and similarly, bandwidth that will not be equals to bandwidth with feedback. Agree? So how much is the change? Which one is less? Which one is greater than? These things we will discuss on tomorrow, and mathematically, how much is the change, or by what ratio that frequencies get either increase or decrease, and bandwidth that also we will see will get increase or decrease, and by how much factor. Okay. So we'll stop here.